Hi, my name is Aubrey Wise, and this is my oral history interview. Let's say your name and your birth date.
My birthday. My name is Betty Wise. I was born November 2nd, 1927.
All right, so let's first talk about World War II. How old were you when World War II started?
I was 12 years old.
Okay, and when you ended it, you were
17 years old.
Okay. All right, where did you live during World War II?
I lived in Shamrock, Florida.
Shamrock, Florida. Okay. Do you remember when World War II first started, or when Pearl Harbor was bombed? Do you remember where you were?
I remember that I was outside in the yard. We were playing basketball on the driveway.
Okay. And how did you react? Were you shocked or surprised?
I was very shocked. Very upset.
Okay. Did you have a job during the war, like when you were older in high school?
No.
No, didn't have a job. Okay.
Did not have a job.
Where did your mother or father work during World War II?
My father worked for Putnam Lumber Company in Shamrock, Florida.
Okay.
My mother did not work at all.
And did the lumber company do anything for the war effort? Probably not.
I do not know.
Okay. All right. How did you feel about the war? Like, what was your thought about the war? Or did you keep up with it on TV, or did you listen to the radio?
During that time, we did not have a TV.
Okay.
But we did listen on the radio. And were very interested in what was going on. We had lots of talk about it while in high school.
Okay. Did the war change your lifestyle or your habits or anything like that, or did it affect you at all at home?
It did affect us at home. We were, of course, unable to get all of the groceries and food that you really wanted.
Okay.
And the money, of course, was very short, but we did manage to have a good life.
Okay. Did your father serve in World War II?
No.
No, he didn't. Okay. Was your spouse in World War II or any of the wars? He would have been probably around the same age as you. Did he serve in World War II or there's the Korean War?
He was in World War II.
He was, okay. And you said what segment was he in?
Robert was in the Navy.
The Navy.
But
Okay.
he never went overseas. He stayed in Jacksonville, Florida.
Okay. All right, cool. How old were you during the Great Depression? The Great Depression started in 1929, so you would have been two when it started. Where did you live during? You also lived in Cross City or Shamrock while you were during the Great Depression?
Yes, I lived in Shamrock, Florida during the Depression.
Okay. And you didn't have a job during the Great Depression?
No.
Okay.
Did not work.
What is one memory that you have of the Great Depression and how it affected your family?
One memory that I had was when my father jacked the car up, took the tires off, and we walked everywhere we went. Of course, the town was very small, so it really did us good.
Saved you a lot of money and exercise also.
There you go.
It did affect the money that came into your house during the Great Depression? You had to, did you have to cut back on food or anything like that?
Yeah, we did cut back on food. Of course, we never were hungry. And my father, I remember, would also help some of the workers that he had working for him.
Okay.
That, needed food. They just didn't have the money to buy food.
Okay.
I do remember during that time, I was very thin, and they tried to put weight on me, and I was allowed to go by the store on the way home from school and buy a milkshake and a package of crackers every day.
Every day, and did it end up putting weight on you?
This did not put weight on me. No.
Okay. Let's see. And we already talked about Pearl Harbor and when that was attacked. Did you said you were in the yard during when you found out about the attack?
Yes.
Okay. And how did you react to that? How did you said you were very shocked. And did you know anybody that was over there during?
Did not know
anybody?
anyone.
Okay.
Just saw the pictures that
The pictures
were very disturbing.
Okay. Okay, let's talk about high school when you're during your teenage years. What were your favorite hobbies to do during your high school and teenage years?
Well, during my teenage years, I really was into sports.
Sports.
I played softball. I played basketball. Was a cheerleader.
Oh, wow.
I was secretary of the student council.
Okay.
And was very active in school. Was a very outdoor person. Did not play with dolls or that type. I was very athletic.
Okay. And what high school did you go to?
I went to Dixie County High School.
And was it also boys and girls?
Yes, it
Okay.
was.
How did people dress during your high school? Was it, more conservative or?
It was rather conservative.
Mhm.
I can remember wearing sweaters and skirts and what were they called? Saddle Oxfords.
Okay.
That was what we always had to have, a pair of saddle Oxfords and a pleated skirt to start school with.
And did y'all have uniforms, or was there no uniforms?
No uniforms.
Okay, so you could wear whatever you want.
Yes.
What did you normally do on the weekends? Did you go,
Of course, the town was very small,
Mhm.
and there was not a lot of activities to do.
Mhm.
But the church did have a lot of activities that we went to. There was a great place for swimming
Okay.
that we went to.
Mhm.
And we did have a movie theater.
Okay.
That-
So you did.
And of course, we had to walk most during that time, do the movie.
Mhm. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about Kennedy's assassination. Do you remember where you were when you found out about Kennedy's assassination?
I do not remember where I was.
Okay. And how did you handle the news? Where's your family very shocked during?
Yes, we all were very shocked and sad, and just really hated this for his family.
Okay. So, when Neil Armstrong first walked on the moon, how did you hear about this news, or did you experience it, or? I know we talked earlier about maybe you going down to.
I think this is the launch that our family went down to Cape Canaveral to see this mission blast off.
Mhm.
We were able to get on the top floor
Okay.
of a hospital that was being built and really had a great place. We saw it very good.
Okay. And you
We-
said something about a certificate.
Yes, we were given certificates
Okay.
saying that we had been there and witnessed this event.
Okay. When were you first married? When were you married? What year were you married?
I was married September 13th, 1952.
Okay. And did you get married in Jacksonville or?
Yes, I was married in Jacksonville, Florida,
Okay.
at the Main Street Baptist Church.
Okay. And how many kids did you have?
I had 3 children, 2 boys, 1 girl.
One girl. Okay. And when did you own your first car?
The first car that I owned was after I was married.
Okay.
Did not have one before I was married. I rode the bus to work.
And where did you work when you moved? Because you obviously had to move from Shamrock to Jacksonville. Where did you first work when you came to Jacksonville?
When I first came to Jacksonville, I worked for Southern Bell Company.
And what is that?
It's a telephone, Southern Bell Telephone.
Okay.
And I worked there one summer, and then I left Jacksonville and went to Florida State College for Women.
Okay. And this is the Florida FSU now, but it was only for women back then.
When I went, there was only women.
Okay.
And while I was there, they did make it co-ed.
Okay.
That they were allowed. We all cut classes and didn't go to school for several days and went down to watch the legislature pass this bill so that
Okay. So it would become a co-ed school.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, wow, I didn't know that. And what about, do you remember when they desegregated the schools? Do you remember any of that time when the blacks were able to come into the schools? Were you in high school or?
No, I had finished school. This happened mostly when my children were in elementary school.
Okay. So do you remember how the people reacted, and were people angry or around your city? I mean, around your schools?
At my school, they took it very good. People were not angry and welcomed them.
So it was different from other schools.
Yes,
definitely.
it was different from the other schools.
And do you remember September 11th? Do you remember when it happened and where you were and?
When did it happen?
It was September 11th, 2001, I believe. 2000 or 2001. I was in 3rd grade.
I was in this house.
Okay.
Here.
Okay.
And I was watching TV.
Mhm.
And my son, Randy Wise, was with me.
Okay.
And we were sitting watching TV, and it came on the television.
Right.
Showing some of the planes crashing into the buildings.
Okay.
That's what we saw.
Okay. Yeah, and I know that he was on standby for to go over into New York.
Yes.
Which, would that make you nervous for him? Or?
Yes, it would make me very nervous for him to go there.
Okay. Do you have any other interesting stories that you think that missed out that you would want to tell, or your favorite memories of adulthood, or what about your kids? What did you like take them to for entertainment? Like, where would you take them to entertain?
One thing I do remember, it's funny, but yet it's not funny. We used to always go to the mountains during vacations. That's where we went most of the time. And the oldest son, Ricky, would get sick riding in the car. And every time, after a while, I kept thinking, why do we do this to him? Take him to the mountains, and he gets sick and is sick the whole time we gone. But after we would get there and get situated, he would really enjoy it, riding the horses and doing all the fun things that you can do in the mountains. Hiking, going on the trails.
Right.
Really enjoyed all those vacations we took up in the mountains.
And you owned a house up in the mountains that y'all would visit every year?
No, we did not own a condo at that time.
And what other vacations would you and your kids and your husband take? Just to the mountains?
We went to South Florida
Okay.
several times, Miami, and to those type places where there was a lot of water that we could enjoy to swim and boat. So.
And how many grandkids do you have?
I have 3 beautiful grandchildren.
One of them also being me. Well, I really appreciate you having an interview with me. We learned quite a bit during this time. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You are so welcome.